What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna go ahead and fix my chassis mounted wing for my 370Z. Right now it's been wingless for, I would say, a few months already because it cracked, but it finally split not that long ago. So I don't know how it happened exactly. I don't know if it just happened because, you know, I was driving pretty fast and it finally got to the point where it split like all the way up until this point right here. And then on this side, all the way up to about right here. And I don't know why or how it happened, but it happened. So now we need to go ahead and fix it. This is a fiberglass wing, so we should be able to fix it with fiberglass. I already picked up the stuff that I need, which is the fiberglass matte material that we can rip and cut, and also the resin and the hardener. That way we can go ahead and apply it. Now, with the wing itself, I was thinking about opening this section right here because usually when it comes to fiberglass, you would want to go ahead and reinforce the rear portion of it and then add some at the front so it can reinforce it on both ends so it doesn't split. But in this case, because the front portion is only accessible and the rear is not, I can't really, you know, fix it properly and reinforce it. So what I was thinking about doing is grabbing something, shoving it in here to open the hole, whether you can see the split, and then adding a bunch of resin on the inside, and then closing it, and then flipping it around like this. That way the resin can fall like down into the crack and then reinforce it that way. That was the only way I could think of doing it, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to be able to do that just because you need to go ahead and apply pressure right here on the top part so it can sit flush. So that's the only issue that I'm really running into right now is how I'm going to apply pressure. So this is going to be a lot of work if I'm being honest with you, and I don't know if it's going to come out perfect. I think it will seal, but is it going to seal enough so it won't crack again? That's what I don't know. I could add like a bunch of resin on the inside and then let it sit there and hopefully that fixes it. But I don't know how well that is gonna work. So yeah, let's go ahead and begin doing this. I already sanded the inside portions of this already, but I'll try to record as much as possible and then hopefully it works so we can put the wing back on. Alright, so there I have the fiberglass right in the middle. Added a bunch of epoxy on the inside, just like let it spread in. And then I lifted it from the back end, as you can see right there. That way it can kind of like roll forward and epoxy the whole inside, and hopefully that holds it together. If not, then we're pretty much fucked and we gotta do it all over again. But I had that little piece in the middle, so that helped out a lot because in order to like open this, you gotta use your fingers to push it open, and it's pretty hard. So having that little piece in the middle to hold it up so I could place everything in there, add some epoxy, and then close it up really helped out a lot. If I didn't have that, it would have made it a lot more difficult. But now we gotta allow it to dry. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, but I can just let it sit here for a while. But I added a few gallons that I had right there of coolant, and then this piece that kind of weighs a little bit. That way it can hold it down so it applies pressure and it doesn't move around a lot, and it's secure. So that excess right there, we're gonna have to of course trim it down. Once we remove that piece, we will most likely have to remove the wrap because I got a bunch of epoxy all over it. So I mean, that sucks because I didn't want to do that, but we're gonna have to because epoxy's on it. It's gonna look really nasty, and I'll most likely paint it the same color as the car. I think that'll look really sick. At the same time, I gotta paint this as well. But I'll let it sit here for a few hours and then I'll pick it back up. Alright guys, so here's how it is looking right now. I went ahead and cut off the excess with my Dremel, which is this part right here. So this was all like stuck once it dried up. And I went through it with my Dremel just along the seam, cut it, just like that. And then I smoothed it down, and this is like the result. And I actually did a pretty good job. I'm just gonna add a layer of Bondo or fiberglass Bondo on the end right here to flatten it out as much as possible, and then sand it down, fill in any gaps. For the most part, it does look like the epoxy, or not the epoxy, the fiberglass resin did actually go into most of the cracks, but there's a few like right here on the ends that I didn't get, so I will have to go through those really quick. I'm just gonna sand the whole surface with like some 30 or maybe even like an 80 grit to smoothen it down. That way it can grab on and just add a layer in there so it can make it flat. But it came out pretty good. It is pretty sturdy. So now we got to take off the extra resin on the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint it. Alright guys, so everything is pretty much done. I went ahead and sanded the edge down, and it actually came out really good. Where you can see how smooth it is. There's a few spots, but once we paint it, it should look a lot better. But you would want to go through it and fill in any holes that you see. But so far it's really sturdy. I don't see it opening up anymore. It's not moving at all. And what I did at the end is I grabbed my sander, which is nowhere to be found right now. There it is. I have this one right here. Helped out drastically, make things so much quicker. Just went along the edge, and because this is like square and long and smooth, it makes the process a lot faster, especially having a strong grit on there. And then sanding it down, I actually sanded down the whole piece, but then when I removed the wrap, it left like a sticky residue. So I used a knife like this one right here, and I just went through it all, and I was able to remove it. Now I just gotta clean the board with like a Dawn soap. That way it can remove all the dust that's on there and everything. Wet it, let it dry. I would say maybe for a day, and then I'll paint this tomorrow. I'm just gonna paint the whole thing a gloss black, and then later in the future, I'll paint it to match the color of the car. I think that'll look really sick. But that's how it's looking right now. I'm actually really surprised with how well this came out, and I'm excited because I haven't had my wing on for a really long time, so we're finally gonna be able to put it on. But let me take this outside, wash it, and then I'll pick it up the next day once this is ready to be painted. Alright guys, so the wing is now finally installed and done. It is not 100% perfect by any means, but it came out really good, especially for being able to fix this for about 50 bucks. The resin and everything that I bought was from Home Depot. I have it over here. I can show you guys which one it is in case you guys want to fix something like this. So Home Depot sells this one, fiberglass resin, and this is the hardener. You just put a little bit of hardener in there, and then you just mix it, and then you have the mat right here, the fiberglass mat. You can cut it, put it wherever you want to reinforce the area, and it'll work. But it came out really good. There's a few spots that I would like to fix in the future, but I mean, it's not horrible by any means. So like right here, you can see I missed a spot right here. I need to repaint that. But over here, you can see it looks pretty smooth. There's like a small hole right there that I need to add some Bondo to it. It's just unsmooth, that's it. But I did drive it now, going over 80 miles per hour. No issues whatsoever. It looks a little bit sturdier as well, because before I would see like a little bit of movement up and down. Of course, because of that crack. So my goal in the future, I'm going to go ahead and repaint it. I don't want to leave it like this because it has a few like orange peel spots. Like right here, you can see that. Right there, a few right there. So I could fix that myself by just like wet sanding it, removing the orange peel, and then repainting it, and it'll come out nice. But I would like to get it painted the same color as the car. So this right here is wrapped as well. I want to go ahead and paint this to match the color of the car because it is a metallic black. Right there you can see all that pearl with like the purple, green, blue, all that pearl. Looks really sick. And I would like to paint all the other parts that same color, and I think it'll flow really well. So I'm going to do this side, the next side as well, just to make it look perfect. But I do want to make some modifications to this, so I'm going to wait to paint this later in the future when I do my events that I want to do on the side right here. I still want to do it. It's just something that's been on my mind, and it'll make the kit look a little bit different because I have seen a few people that have this kit, and I just try to make my things look a little bit different, so it's kind of unique. It did take some time, but it was a pretty simple fix. Honestly, like these wings cost like $900. I think the fiberglass one is $7 and the carbon fiber one is $900. I could be wrong. I haven't checked it in a while, but that's how much just the wing itself is. Like the whole assembly, like the whole wing itself, it is like $1,500 for just the fiberglass one, and I think you're close to $2K for a carbon fiber one. So, you know, spending $700 to $900 just on the wing and fixing it for about 50 bucks. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. And also, it's extremely satisfying to be able to fix something on your own. I'm really happy I was able to fix this, save a lot of money on this, and hopefully help some of you guys out because I didn't see any videos on this at all. Like how to fix a wing that has cracked like in the middle portion. Maybe it just hasn't happened to a lot of people. I don't really know why it happened on this wing. This wing is from Battle Aero, just in case you guys are interested. I did make a few custom modifications to it. Well, my homie Nito actually made the customizations to it, which is adding the middle plate right there in the middle. Not sure if you guys can really see it, but that brace in the middle, we added that. And the reason I did that was because I was having trouble getting a hold of Battle Aero to sell me those middle portions or that middle part for the Battle Aero wing, and also the inner parts as well. So I just made a bunch of custom stuff to reinforce it, and that's why my wing looks a little bit different. But you know, it's just custom stuff, really sick. It was welded on there, so it reinforced it a lot because it used to move a lot like forward and back. Now you guys can see that thing don't move at all. Before it was horrible. Like I would hit it and the whole thing would like shift back and forth. It was really, really bad. And now you can see that it moves like a little bit, but nothing at all to what it did before. But yeah, guys, that's gonna conclude the video. Hopefully this was useful for some of you guys that want to fix something like this. If you purchased a wing and you're having an issue, I don't think it's very common, but it did happen to me, and hopefully it helps you guys out in reinforcing something like this. As for the Hot Wheels, it is growing. As you guys can see, these are all my premiums right there. I have quite a few now. There's a lot. And then I kind of cleaned up this area right here. I purchased these like things that you find at the store. I don't even know what they're called. I think they're called pin board hangers. I purchased some of those so it can look a little bit cleaner. As you guys can see, it does look really sick now. There's a few empty spots like that one right there. I'm moving stuff around so I can make more space for other stuff. But it's looking really sick, and I really like the overall look of it. I did actually find this pack over here. That one right there. At Ross, so I got really lucky on that. I think those were like 30 bucks and I got it for like 12. So I was really sick. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.